But the CNN crowd, I could see.
You're looking at live pictures just outside Wells Fargo Center Arena, where the Democratic National Convention is in its second day. We are watching this develop. There's this protest, and the number of protesters estimated at about 1,000. They have actually locked out these protesters. This is starting to become a little more than it was, in the sense that the demonstrators are getting a little more agitated. One fellow was carrying a sign that said, "This is not a riot," and certainly it is not. But you can see that these are very unhappy people, unhappy with, I believe, Bernie Sanders, who they feel sold them out. These folks, at least that's what they're suggesting, and are also not lining up, not queuing up for the Kumbaya lane with Hillary Clinton's campaign. Maybe that'll change, but for right now, it is increasingly a truculent and boisterous demonstration that is somewhat remote from the center because they've been locked out. The entrance gate has been shut down to keep them out. I want to turn now to Democratic strategist Robert Zimmerman, who has just sat down here with me, and Maverick PAC national co-chair Morgan Ortagus. Thank you both for being here.
Great to be with you.
Robert, I mean, there is, this is a terrible metaphor for the party seeking unity. To have, first of all, an 8-foot gate around the place. Ostensibly, the Democrats not believing in walls, at least on the campaign trail, then to lock it against those demonstrators. This is not the imagery you wanted, right?
Look, well, thank you for bringing it to our attention, Lou.
You're more than welcome.
But the more important point is to put this all in perspective. Like the Cleveland Convention and every political convention I've always attended, there are security perimeters, there are gates that are put up, so that's not unusual. And the fact that we have these gates here is always done for security purposes in both parties. The more important point is these individuals who are here obviously are frustrated. They're not on board, but look at the progress that's been made. Larry Sabato, who's been a guest on this network, has said that he thinks 80% of the Sanders supporters are now with Hillary Clinton. You saw unity in this hall that no one thought was going to happen 6 months ago, 4 months ago. Bernie Sanders very impassionately supporting Hillary. I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing moving forward.
Well, as you say that, it's sort of interesting because 20% of the 13 million votes that Bernie Sanders would get, I'm just doing this on the back of the envelope as we go, would be 2.6 million people.
Absolutely.
That would represent just almost the margin of victory for Barack Obama in 2012, would it not?
Well, here's the point. This is right now where we are in July. I'm absolutely convinced that as this campaign moves forward and we start focusing on the choice between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, we're not going to make the mistake we made in 2000 with Ralph Nader. We as a country have matured, and the Democratic Party has matured, and I think the progressive movement will not want to be responsible for Donald Trump being president.
What do you think, Morgan?
Well, if this is what unity looks like, I'd hate to see what division looks like. I just almost missed my hit coming in here with you because I was stopped by these supporters. They were vicious outside. They were complaining to me because I had a media badge on, telling me that the Democrats had locked the doors. I don't see a lot of unity here. I'm sure that the campaign hopes and prays that it will be, but here's the central point, Lou. Hillary Clinton has to give the Bernie Sanders supporters something to vote for. Right now, she's only offering her gender. I'm going to be the first woman president. They've said this week that's not enough. And I find it actually as a woman very insulting to assume that independent-minded women and voters are going to vote for someone based off their gender alone. Well, I don't think people voted for Barack Obama.
Well, Morgan, if that were the case, then you'd be correct. The reality is you saw the Democratic Party come together unanimously around their platform, raising the minimum wage, expanding health care, focusing on making college more affordable. And that's a dramatic contrast from Donald Trump, who's opposed to raising the minimum wage, in fact suggests states have the right to lower the minimum wage.
So what are these people doing outside?
These are individuals. No, these are people who are protesting. It's a democratic process. There were protesters in Cleveland, the Republican convention.
I was in Cleveland, sir. It was certainly not like this inside the Republican.
I appreciate your objective analysis, but the point is simply, here we have obviously people who are protesting, but we have unity in this hall, unity around the country, and I think the more we see what Trump offers, unity and support for Hillary Clinton.
And what is Bill Clinton going to have to do here tonight in his speech to actually establish unity. Again, I appreciate both of your objective opinions here. You're here because you're not objective.
Exactly
because
right.
we want your perspective and your insight from your, on the part of the two parties. But what's he got to do tonight?
Look, well, first of all, I think just pragmatically speaking, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders have got to make the unity, and I think they have. What Bill Clinton's got to do tonight is rally the party in terms of, and he does this better than I think anybody in politics, outline what the issues are, outline what the choices are, and rally our party. And I think his speech will rally the nation in terms of understanding what our focus is in this campaign.
All right. Morgan, what do you expect?
Well, I'm thinking of my father right now, who's watching you and loves this show. My dad's from the South, and my dad always said, the hit dog hollers the loudest. What does that mean? This email scandal this week has energized the Bernie Sanders supporters because they know that the system is rigged against them. And I don't care how much lipstick you put on this convention, it's rigged, and the supporters know it.
Now, my dad's 94. He's a big fan of you, as you know that. He would say, relax, have a knish. That's our version of it, because we're unified and we're doing well.
And best to your dad.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks so much, and best to both of you. Thanks for being with us.
Okay.
Morgan Ortegas and Robert Zimmerman, good to have you all with us. My next guest is asking the FBI and other federal agencies to open a public corruption investigation into the activities of the Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton Foundation. Joining us tonight, Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee. She's the vice chair of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, and great to have you with us.
Good to be with you.
What do you expect to come of this investigation, a public corruption investigation into the foundation?
That's right. It is a public corruption investigation. And we've already heard back from our letter to Commissioner Koskinen at the IRS. And this time it wasn't a form letter, Lou. He actually wrote a letter to me and my colleagues who joined me on the letter. He said he has referred it to the tax-exempt division, so we hope that they will conduct a review. The American people have the right to know what is going on with the money, what is going on with the relationships. You mentioned earlier in your show Uranium One, Laureate, other relationships that seem to be questionable, and the American people have the right to get answers about the unusual business model that surrounds what is going on with the Clinton Foundation. They want to know about the speeches. They want to know what the payment was for the speeches. They want to know why the Clinton Foundation has not filed their 990s, why they have never changed their mission from doing the Clinton Museum and the presidential archives into a global initiative.
Well, I've got to interrupt just for a second, Congresswoman.
Sure.
We are now watching live pictures here. I don't know if you can see them.
I
but
can.
The fence, the security fence, 8-foot-tall security fence, a number of the Sanders supporters and demonstrators who are walking around with signs and chanting rigged. At least one that I've seen here in the last few minutes has climbed over that fence, throwing things, as you just saw there, over the fence. The gates have been locked, and the crowd seems to be getting just a little more rambunctious, if you will, orderly to this point, certainly, and we hope it continues that way. Congresswoman, are you surprised that the only indication that the director of the FBI has given Congress on investigating public corruption, the Clinton Foundation, has been simply to push off and push away any suggestion he would comment? What do you make of his reaction to this point?
Well, I found it quite interesting that you had Director Comey to kind of push that off and to not give a comment as to whether or not they were investigating the Clinton Foundation. But there is reason to investigate them because there are questions of good governance. There are questions of conflict of interest. And you have a former president, a former Secretary of State. They have this foundation. They have taken money from foreign entities, and there is involvement with other countries. They are only giving 13% of what they bring in to a stated mission, they pay twice in salaries and benefits what they pay for going out and helping with the mission of the foundation. And Lou, when you talk about a sham charity, you have to ask: is this a sham charity? Is it something that people are watching and wanting to know where this money is going and what the real participation is?
Right. Congresswoman, we thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing the response of the authorities. Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn, thanks so much for being with us. Good to see you. Up next, Sanders protesters, as you see here, an estimated 1,000 locked out of the Wells Fargo Center Arena. There's some of them scaling the security fence. Things getting a little more, well, the demonstrators are getting a little more agitated and frustrated, but they also seem, as you watch somebody polishing up Bernie's bumper stickers, they're preserving, at least most of them, their sense of humor and a sense of order. We'll have a live report for you coming up here next, and former presidential candidate Herman Cain joins me here next. Stay with us.